Hey everyone, Joe here. Episode 88 of Insights has just dropped. It's a fascinating quote from John Wick for the movie. It is an incredible insight into attachment itself. I hope you find it as entertaining as I had fun delivering it. Enjoy. Hey everyone, it's Joe here, and welcome to episode 88 of Insights. So pleased that you're here. Thank you so much in advance for your time. Hey, today's a different episode because I never thought I'd be quoting from John Wick himself. John Wick 4. We'll get into that in a moment, and can't wait to dive into this. It's a fascinating episode. Just before we do, coming up very soon on September 1, September 2 is one of my most popular free public events, the free introduction to eDisc training. eDisc, of course, is a behavioral profiling instrument. So if you're a leader, consultant, trainer, facilitator, trainer, and you want to dive deeper into understanding the frameworks and structures of human behavior, it's something you may want to consider. It goes for a whole day and a half. It's on Zoom, and can't wait to dive into all things profiling for that whole day and a half. And of course, if what you hear and listen and watch that day deeply resonates with you and you consider it's something that's going to be very useful to you, you can continue the journey beyond that day and a half and join us for the accreditation training later in September. So to register for that event, as I said, it's a free event for a day and a half. September 1 is a Friday, 10 till 5, 10 till 6 actually, and Saturday, half day, 10 till 1. To register for that, all you need to do is just head over to joeparnet.com.au, and it's just right there. You can see it right on the screen. It's pretty obvious where the link is. And click away, and look forward to seeing you there on September the 1st. My God, I just realized the first day of spring. My Lord, the year is just flying by, like every other year seems to be flying by as well. All right. So, John Wick 4. So it was only literally last Sunday that I finally had the opportunity to sit down and watch this movie. It goes for like 2 hours and 50 minutes. So you really need to have some space and time to watch it. So I never thought I'd be quoting John Wick, as I said, but here we are. So as I sat down last week, and it crescendos quite nicely. No spoiler alerts here. I'm not going to give any clues away. But let me just say to you, toward the end of the movie, there's a penultimate scene, right, where John Wick says to his dear friend, "Those who cling to death live." And his friend responds with, "And those who cling to life die." What does that even mean? And that's what we're here to explore here today. So something a little bit different. So let me just repeat that so we can get our beautiful neurologies around this. So those who cling to death live, and those who cling to life die. What does this even mean? So let's focus on the first half of this mind-shifting, soul-stirring string of words. Those who cling to death live. Let's just focus on that. Those who cling to death live. What does that mean? So clearly, and obviously there's all kinds of interpretations. So this is just my interpretation, and I'm sure many of you would have a different slant or different purview on, this fascinating life insight. Now, put simply to me, this first half, so just repeating it, those who cling to death live. To me, this is being unafraid of death. So the question then has to be, how do we become unafraid of death? Well, there are a couple of thought points I would love to share on this. Now, practically every near-death experience that has been studied, researched, and categorized, and there are hundreds of thousands of them, they show us that when the NDEer, the person who's had the near-death experience, comes back to full waking consciousness, any fear of death has been completely vanquished. In fact, many near-death experiences actually state that in death they were unspeakably more alive than being trapped in a body living a physical life. I find this fascinating. Great to know. But do we believe it? And that leads me to my second point. Our beliefs are designed to bring us comfort. Beliefs aren't facts. Beliefs are our convenient assumptions that we have about anything that we are aware of. So for what it's worth, I take great comfort in believing that life is not just living until the age of 80 or 90 or whatever it is, and then it ends. I believe that life is not just limited to the experience of our personalities and attached bodies, but that life is who or what we actually are, and that it does continue beyond forever and ever. C.S. Lewis was known to have said, "We do not have a soul, we are a soul. What we have is a body." So in other words, life is not only something we experience. Life is what we actually are.
life is consciousness itself. It is beyond the dualistic ego mind and beyond our levels of comprehension. To me, the transition into death is a very exciting one. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not going anywhere. I'm loving my life, but we all know that the end is coming at some point. So, to me, the transition into death is very exciting. And this is what clinging to death means to me. By being excited by death, we are not afraid to live. Being unafraid to live means we are living with a continual awareness of the joy that we even exist. At the time of this writing, in fact, at the time of this writing, I wrote this episode out. I always write my episodes to get my thinking out and then I speak it into my microphone. So at the time of this recording and at the time of this writing, in 2 days' time, I'm running my 27th half marathon. Now, there's a reason why I'm sharing this with you, right? So I was asked just this morning in our running group what I expect my time to be. Now, I've been running for nearly 30 years, and for 25 of those 30 years, I used to put so much pressure on myself to run a personal best, and if I didn't, or if I didn't come close, I would be so disappointed. Now, I seem to have forgotten something really important in the case of that, in the case of all of that, and that is that I can actually run a half marathon, right? So when I was asked what my expectations are this morning, I said to have a fun day and celebrate a healthy and vibrant life that I've had so far. Now, my running events are celebrations. They're no longer performance based. I mean, sure, I want to perform. Sure, I want to do my best. But the priority is, are you celebrating and enjoying it, even though there's pain coming and discomfort and all those kinds of things? Now, before some of you may think, oh, Joe, it's because you're getting old and you just can't run as fast. Well, my last half marathon 2 months ago was only 3 minutes slower than my all-time personal best. Now, that's my ego having to get it off its chest. It's my ego speaking, wanting to defend itself. No, I'm still running quick, as far as my quick is concerned anyway. All right, ego aside, let's continue our conversation. So those who cling to death live. I love it. So it's being unafraid of death, which means then we bring more energy, more vibe, more conviction, more depth, more vulnerability, more reality into life itself, if that makes sense. So let's now have a look at the second half of this fascinating insight, which says, those who cling to life die. What does that mean? So this one to me seems easier to interpret. When we are attached to most, if not everything in our lives, we smother and minimize our experience. Being attached in life means we live in the fear of losing people and things. The fact is, we will lose everyone and we will lose everything in our lives one day. You know, it's been said that even though we all have the same number of hours in every day, we do not have the same number of days. We cannot and do not know when that last day will come. It's just so difficult to fathom. I mean, especially when everything seems fine. You know, most of us live as if we have another life in the bank. We are in a game and we have absolutely no idea when the stop clock will sound. We don't know how long we have left in the game. Imagine watching a sport where you have no idea when the siren's going to blow. Well, what's the difference? Life is the same. It just goes for a bit longer for most of us, fortunately. So clinging to life, we die. That's, I'm just re-quoting the quote. Clinging to life, we die, to me means that we get so absorbed by our self-importance, ego existence, that we miss the whole point. We miss the precious, deep, and rare experiences of deeply loving, appreciating, and enjoying everyone around us. Aimlessly walking through life means we are emotionally and spiritually dead. Getting caught up in the game the ego plays contributes massively to so many people getting lost, getting depressed, getting anxious, and even crazy, which can cause our cheese to slide off our cracker. Cling to life, we die. Cling to death, we live. Loving it all. I appreciate you listening. I hope you get something from this one today. Much appreciated. And I'll see you very soon for the next episode. Bye for now.